Hello everyone, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I've had a lot of requests to read on coronavirus. I have probably resisted because I don't want to alarm anybody. I don't want to stoke fear. So my reading is going to be fairly measured in the way I phrase the questions. Let's have a look. So my initial impressions of coronavirus, I immediately went to really, the plagues of the historic, we've seen through history where almost the population has been leveled, and it takes pressure off those resources. Now, we're talking about people's lives, so even going back and looking at those plagues, you would think that in 2020 we would have the means to be able to prevent this wholesale impact of things like SARS and coronavirus and a pandemic, an influenza pandemic. But it seems that we are still back there in many ways in terms of how we control this. I know that they're working on a vaccination for coronavirus. As of this stage, it's not been completed, but let's have a look at coronavirus in terms of, let's put this into perspective. It's not widespread at the moment. We're at the point where not enough is known about the way that it is spread. And so this is about the time that we should keep our cool, keep our heads about us, keep our logical minds engaged. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at. Having said that, that's my disclaimer. Let's have a look at coronavirus. Will the spread of coronavirus be stopped or contained? Will the spread of coronavirus be contained? Will the spread of coronavirus be contained? I'm feeling it's still got a way to go yet, but ultimately we're going to see some containment. We've also got some truth coming out. Now, one of the things I saw when I was, just before I pulled those cards, was plants. And I'm not sure why I saw that, but I'm noticing that there are plants on the edge of this sword. In some way, where did it start? It started in a wet market in China, a city in China. I think China's third largest city, or third or seventh. Anyway, both are ringing a bell. I do come across so much news in the course of one day, the details sometimes I forget. Okay, so the Ace of Swords, we've got a truth coming out, but we've also this is also suggesting that while it will, we're not there yet in terms of when it will be contained. Because of governments, we've got the Hierophant in the challenge here. So it's about the speed of the way that we can move to set up containment lines, to isolate patients, to stop the travel. Because this is in the challenge, this is yes, it will be contained, but it's being challenged by the Hierophant. So this is generally governments, health departments, education departments. So they're not moving quickly enough. Is why it's going to spread a little bit more. We've got Temperance. We've got this balance coming forward, and a healing. So this is a good card. It's I'm not seeing, cards that are going to suggest this is going to be a pandemic that's going to wipe half the world's population out. It has a way to go, but it will be contained at the end of the day. The travel here with this Three of Wands, it's also has the potential to affect trade and commerce. So this is going to unsettle markets, but it's also going to impact on the trade, those free trade arrangements between countries as well. This could be, because we don't know the origin of the spread. I feel this is where authorities, the where coronavirus sprang from. I just get a pull. This is in the past position. I get a pull that if it is livestock, then governments are going to need to take those necessary arrangements. Anything that is traded between China and other countries. We do have loss, unfortunately, with this Five of Cups, and this can often mean when people pass over. So there is grief, and I don't want to say that lightly. It will be contained, is what this reading is saying, but it has a little way to go just yet. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Again, this is going to impact on, I think it already has impacted on stock markets. It has a way to go as well. So this Queen of Pentacles is also around national security. I wonder how this virus started, and we can ask that. Was it manufactured, or did it morph into something? Due to the way that we do things, due to heavily populated areas, etc. It began in a wet market in one of China's very heavily populated cities. Okay, the King of Pentacles in the here and now. There's a big hit for businesses, I feel, in some way. This is all trade and commerce, even though this is a reading about a pandemic. I'm just seeing a lot of impact on the markets, on trade and commerce. However, we've got strength and endurance. So again, and we've got that Temperance card. So again, I'm getting a pull to this virus will be contained at the end of the day. Now we've got the High Priestess in the fear position, so I feel that this subconsciously is causing a lot of anxiety. There's also some secrets around this as well. Now the mayor of the city where it originated has come out and apologised for not alerting authorities soon enough. There's more to that as well. Whether those flights into other countries should have been stopped, whether or not something around trade or commerce might emerge as well. Produce going from one country to the next. Okay, are the governments acting quickly enough because they are in the challenge position, or are they pushing through things for the dollar? The King of Swords, there's going to be investigation, and this is logic, and this is what you see when you have a threat like this, both to human life and to biosecurity, or each country's biosecurity arrangements as well. I do feel with this Two of Wands, it's going to take a little bit of time to get this under control. That Two of Wands, I feel that February, March are going to be tough in relation to this coronavirus. There is going to be some loss with this Three of Swords. So let's have a look at what's underneath. We've got the Moon, we've got the shadow side, we've got loss, and we've also got the Ace of Wands. So I feel that there's going to obviously be some loss here, the Five of Pentacles. There's going to be some monetary loss for people. But we've got a way to go yet, and governments aren't acting quickly enough, particularly in relation to trade and commerce, produce going overseas, livestock, for example, whatever is exported, whatever foodstuffs are exported, there needs to be investigation. It's not happening quickly enough. They still don't know how it's spread. But the good news is, and yes, unfortunately, there's a little way to go yet, but it will be contained at the end of the day. It just raises so many questions, doesn't it? I think, how will this impact? Let's just have a look at Where did this start? What can you tell me, Spirit, about where this started? Where this started. Now, we know that the swine flu involved livestock. Then we've also had the bird flu as well, involving chickens. Was this an animal? Did this begin with, I guess, in animals? How is it spread? What can you tell us about how it's spread? How it's spread? How it's spread. So it definitely has something to do with food sources, because I'm getting someone mixing something or grinding something down. So this would indicate it has to do with either live produce or some kind of food source. Where did coronavirus start? Is the question. Where did coronavirus start? Yeah, I'm getting this being mixed, something being mixed. We've got the Hanged Man here. So things coming to a halt, challenged by movement. So this is telling me that the movement of peoples, travel, movement generally is what spread the virus. Of course, I did ask how it was spread or how it was transferred, but I want to know where it starts. The King of Wands, that's interesting. This is a bold kind of leader, a courageous leader. It is lawmakers, I feel, taking action, but they're perplexed. There's a level of perplexion here on this person's face as to how they will contain it. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles review, something not reaching its fruition and then having to stop something midway and go back to the drawing board. Strength and endurance is the outcome card, or the potential outcome of the future. Strength and endurance. China will prevail. They're going to take a big hit. We've got community here in the Four of Wands. Closing ranks, communities helping each other. How was it spread? We've got disappointment here. How was it spread? The Eight of Pentacles. This is hard work. Hard work to get the answer, I feel, is what these cards are saying. How was it spread? We've got the Seven of Cups. Choices. Bad choices that were made. And we've got the Tower. Okay. Restriction. Okay, somebody has, I feel, the Hierophant. Look, I don't want to say it, but some I don't know whether it's the Chinese government or the local government in the city where it originated from. Somebody has let standards drop or done the wrong thing in some way, and thus has brought down the Tower moment on everybody. I think it's going to be tracked back to some kind of practice, whether that's an animal practice. I don't think this is a man-made virus. I feel it's more. It more has to do with someone has let some standard drop, and the disease has proliferated. What have we got underneath? At the base of the pack, we've got the Sun, which is illumination. We do have new starts, and we do have the Queen of Wands, and we do have things eventually taking a turn for the better. So I feel, in summary with this reading, the movement of people should have been stopped sooner. I feel that governments aren't quite reacting as quickly as they should. There are issues around, or there will be issues around produce that comes from China to various countries and how that is managed. And of course, the dollar is almighty here. Standards, I feel, how did it start? I'm kind of going with livestock or something, some produce, some standard that wasn't upheld in some way has brought this Tower moment. And it could be it wasn't upheld because of there was a cost benefit or something like that, but it's resulted in the Tower moment now for all of us. I do feel that investigations are going to get right to the truth at the end of the day. So what's the best counsel for us? Obviously, be mindful of your movement, because we've seen travel there. If you're obviously planning a trip and you don't have to go, maybe stay put. Avoid large crowded areas like airports, and places where you are common sense. You would turn to your local health department for advice. I do believe you should be tapping into that advice. If you're growing your own veggies, for example, eat them. At least you know where they're coming from. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Follow your health department's advice, and look, everything will be fine at the end of the day. There is a way for this to go yet. You will have heard my reading, but I did get that Ace of Swords, meaning that's a yes. I asked, will it be contained? Eventually, it will be contained. So just try and stay calm. There is enough instability in the world now without allowing this to keep you up at night. So yes, it will be contained at the end of the day, is what my cards are showing me. Thank you for tuning in.